Oh, yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, let's see PDD's going. Whoa, MPC on the PDD. Bastards. All right, studs. What's up, you dirty bastards? All right, everybody in? Cool. Yo, what's going on in the hood? Yeah, there's all sorts of little goodies popping through today. Not, I wouldn't say all sorts, but there's a couple. There's a couple that are marinating. Yeah, all right. Let me see what you guys send me your tickers. Let me see what you guys are watching. There's got PDDRIVN. A little mid-rangey, huh? I guess it's got enough. You'd have to hit that with a decent amount of shares, but yeah, why not? It's a bottoming kind of thing. PayPal. All right. Yeah, this has got all sorts of movement in the pre-market. I'd roll with it. I'm not sure ZS is a shark. Guillermo, that's a good list. All right. Twilio. Hey, that's a nice one. Yeah, I didn't see what the news. I didn't see any news on this bad boy just yet, but that don't mean anything. Yeah, I post a link in the Discord room. The watch list and everything should be in there. Dun, 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 dun. Cool. Is everybody in? All right, we got to do the Lord's work, man. The Lord's work. Let me get all this shit together. Hold on here, bastards. All right, cool. Let's go fucking do this. All right. So we got a nice orderly pullback in the QQQs. I know it looks like it's kind of rolling over right now, but is it? Like it's a really, you got like kind of 4 doji days. I don't even really know what doji means, but it's what we've got so far. We got a light volume, light orderly pullback. But the main thing is, let's just get rid of what you think on the indexes for a second and just think of the price action, right? Think of the price action. Even while we've been like just really grinding in the same spot for the last 5-6 days, the price action has been for trading has been fantastic, right? It's been really better than we've had in quite some time. I mean, there's been some real like account builder type of days. Yesterday was right, just like when you're thinking about right movement. I mean, there were so many trenders like this yesterday, and I think you gotta keep that in mind. Like when you have stuff like this, like that's like Butamus stuff, right? And so it was kind of relegated to a certain sector in terms of kind of this Black Friday stuff, but that's all you can really ask for, is this kind of heat. So even though the market itself is going, a little bit sideways, you want to see that. Like the problem is the further you get in the extension like this without taking breaks, the further the rubber band is to snap it back really aggressively. So what happens is if you can slow the rate of descent, then when you pull back, it won't be as violent, right? Just like snapping a rubber band. So I would say that we've had a very orderly last 7-8 days as we digest And I think it's important to just note that obviously the macroeconomic news has been not so good. And, we have to kind of learn to turn one eye away from it when you hear that, because, you know, if you get into that realm where you're just like, okay, I'm going to listen to the CNBC or I'm going to read the Wall Street Journal, then yeah, you're going to see some talk about recessions. You're going to see some talk about the debt, national debt, which is like, at some incredible levels. I just read that we spend more on interest payments on the national debt than we do on defense spending and education. And it's like our number one expense now. So, when you read it like that, it's like, well, shit, and then obviously just right, the tone of people in the world has been a little bit nasty of recent. So these are all things that, we just got to kind of be mindful of. But what can you do, man? Like, in the end, the price is the only thing that pays. And we have some significant action in the markets. I mean, look at this shit like coin and stuff like that, right? Like, when you have piece of crap companies like coin going up a double in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we can't really look at this and say like this is bad stuff. So just be mindful. We have some dead spots in the queues. Where does it speed up? That's the hard part too, is like, you see how it's like kind of slowly rolling, but like where does it speed up? So oftentimes people look for levels and they say like, okay, if we break under XYZ level, the market will speed up to the downside. That is true in more like bear market scenarios. In bullish markets, there aren't really levels. Like, if you break under this level, you short, that doesn't happen. Like, it's only, you only start shorting when you get hit with news, or you start speeding up to the downside, things of that nature. Like, if you grind down and you break slightly below a level, usually that's a shakeout spot and they rip it back. And so you have to be careful, because that's how the environment changes. And so we always want to kind of keep that in mind. And very similar, right? Like, in bull markets, bear markets, right? It's the opposite always kind of holds true. So just kind of keep that in mind, even though you got like an hourly slow, kind of roll it over. It's so slow, right? Like, and you could just get one of these like $3 candles here, right? And it changes the look of everything. So we have to be, we got to be a little bit just careful that, we're not overreading too much into, hey, economy, he, she's, we's, all this kind of stuff we deal with on a regular basis. And we just go after the good old fashioned God-fearing Christian setups and let the Lord do his work. And, we'll be all right. Right. What else can you do? And the worst, it's not the worst thing to have the market snap back, man. It's fun shorting, right? Let it come, whatever you want to do. So you can see here in the SPY too, see the narrow range candles, the narrow range candles on this. And so, the ATR is compressed significantly of recent. And so now you're getting, right, just this kind of consolidations into these things. So I don't know, like, you gap down a little bit here, but does it mean anything? Probably not, right? Probably not. So we just do what we have to do. Oh, it's all right, Mom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, let me get that little heater on. I'm at my mom's house, man. It's 10 degrees outside. All I got is like shorts and t-shirts. Go figure, right? Canal decided I don't like wearing no pants. All right. Now let's get into some of these gappers here, and then we'll kind of go back, see if there's any good upgrades or anything like that. Hey, so for you small cap lovers, you get a little good old fashioned RNA. This used to be a $50 stock. It's a pretty new IPO, like it's about 3-year-old company. I wouldn't even consider this necessarily like a pump and dump type of name. They usually are, but you've got pretty hot range on this. Tis the season for this, guys. Tis the season for this. I don't know if this is a long or short. We never know till it sets up. But this kind of this kind of theme has been happening, right? Where you get these big bases, you get this like monster, monster drop 80-90% on some name, and then boom, like right, you're up to the races. Then you're off to the races. So just be mindful of all this kind of stuff. We've got many types of setups, but I would say there's a little bit of a theme that's been happening in small caps, and that's something, man. That's something that's been. I think that's something that's been prevalent lately, And so if you want to, right, if you want to be doing a little goose and a gander, go for it. Like, I ain't gonna shame you for wanting to trade these turds and lose all your money. I can't do that, right? This is America. Like, if we can't be destructive, what can we be, right? If we can't be destructive, what can we be? So this is probably, I don't like the $2-3 ones, but I definitely don't mind the, kind of $7, $8, $9, $10 ones. Dude, roll with it, man. Roll with it. If this is like your flavor, right? If it's your flavor, then go do what you do. Now, this one I like. So this is old PDD. I don't know if this will be ready today per se. PDD is known to just like gap and shit around, but like you have it. First of all, you got a trender on this thing, dude. Why didn't we buy some of this and hold it, huh? I told myself like 50 times too when these Chinese stocks were crashing, like to fucking pick up a couple thousand of these and a couple thousand of those and stick them in my retirement accounts, and I never fucking do it. always the shoulda, coulda, woulda. You guys see my new gold chain, baby? Gotta get extra, man. It's wintertime. So this has got a breakout here. If we're looking at more like a weekly, you can see you're kind of clearing out some levels. It's like a big, when they look like a Nike swoosh, right? They look like the Nike swoosh. That's a bueno. So I would add this. It actually moves pretty good intraday. It is known to gap and crap, but the gap is decent size on this. I'd be surprised if it red rolled, but like if you said Tiger yesterday, Los Tigres, this is maybe not as good of a chart, but Los Tigres said this like big base and it gapped out of it. This is a Chinese stock. It's like the Chinese Robin Hood. That's an oxymoron right there, right? Oxymoron, double negative something, right? Fucking Chinese Robin Hood. But you got yourself like, man, it gapped up. It was gapping up about 10%, looking juicy, maybe even 13-14% looking juicy, looking fly, looking fresh, and then it just completely shit the bed. So that does happen a lot on Chinese names. You really never know, right? You don't always know, right? You don't always know till you know, right? So just kind of keep that in the back of your heads too. Like, hey, man, we do what we gotta do, right? We do what we gotta do. Shit, right? But this is gonna be probably a little bit larger cap, right? You guys, 150 billion company, so odds of it rolling completely over is much smaller. Let's add it. Old little Chinese liquidity plays. We'll see what's going on this. All right. So add it. I think this is probably one of those first pullback, right? First pullback. Let's, we'll come in hot on it. First pullback is a good spot on something like this, on the OPDD. If it ORBs too, PDDs can ORB, ORBs are working again. They were not working for a long time. I wouldn't say long time, but they were not working as well. And, now we've got ourselves, now we got ourselves a little bit more. So let's fucking shred, baby. Let's shred. SWTX. See, this is kind of gapping up in the middle of nowhere. Junk. Old Carlisle Group. To replace ICU Medical. Man, I don't like those kind of index replacement plays. They stink. IMVT. Yo, this had like, this like one day of fun, and then it's just been consolidating ever since then. But look, they finally posted some positive initial data from phase one study. I mean, that doesn't really mean much, but you are kind of coming out of this big coil range. And after that initial piece of news on the 30, 40 million share in volume, it's been consolidating for 2 months. This has maybe a chance. This has a chance to do something here. Why not? Why not? Let's add it. Fuck it. Not much volume on it yet, so I don't think it's a priority. Like, you'd really want to see this kind of name have like 500,000, 600,000 already on it. So not like a huge, right? Not like a huge thing. Zaman, where you been lately, buddy? But let's add it for now. I give it a C plus. Hey man, you know what? I'm from Michigan. In the wintertime, a 6 is a 10, baby. Right? If anybody up north, if anybody lives up north, you know what I'm talking about. In the old December, a 6 is a 10. All right, HSAI, bam, bam, bam. I don't know about this one. Junk. Now, old Twilio. Anybody see the news on this? Let me see if I can find it here. What do we got on this thing? Old Twilio. This is a blast from the past, but there's two things I like about this. Check this out. All right, we got this range break that's been setting up on this for a long period of time. These specific type of range breaks have been working very well of recent. Let me see here. Twilio, 5% hedge fund, Anson, Bills, taking Twilio. You see here. Let's see. Old Twilio. PDD earnings. Yes. Okay. Oh, 5% for hedge fund, Anson, Bills, taking Twilio, pushes for the sale. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hey, you never know, baby. You never know. We'll add it for now. Maybe that gets it out of the range. Sometimes, sometimes it just takes a little bit of a spark to get something out of range. I'll give you a prime time example, right? And you may not think it's much of anything, and then it turns into something. I'll give you an example. Old Roku yesterday, right? Old Roku yesterday had, like this monster day. We were looking, look it up. It doesn't look, okay. It opened up at night 4. It had an upgrade, right? So, and it's just by a no-name place, Cannonball, right? Who's ever heard of a bank called Cannonball? Not I, right? Looking, old Cannonball comes in, upgrades Roku to buy rating from neutral, target 116. So it's not even like some crazy price target. So old Cannonball comes in, right? Lays the wood, and it's all timed, right? They see the range break too. They're probably loaded up into this thing, right? And so then, right, you get just you got this big range, and this small little catalyst takes it out of it. And from Cannonball, right? There's not like Citigroup, Bank of America, JP Morgan, right? It's from old Cannonball, right? Old Cannonball comes in, upgrades this thing. So it ends up coming out. I mean, look at the calls on this thing. So if it's like, yeah, the shares moved, 7, 8 points, but look at the calls on this thing. 900%, 700%, 500%, like this. That's some FU type of like boom, 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 right? If you come in at the open and you're like, say you're hitting this thing at 96, 97, 98 for the ORB, right? You're buying the $100 calls or something. Dude, you're making so much fucking money, right? 138 to 4. Like that's good cheddars, right? That's what we call account builders. So sometimes, like even the most suspect catalyst can, if you coincide it with a technical level, then all of a sudden you can have some cool shit. You can nip and tuck your way, $100 here, $100 there, but in any given week, you need a couple account builders, right? You need some of these fucking kind of shredders where it's like, man, I got 10, 20, 30 contracts of this, right? And boom, that pays you for the week, right? You can scalp around for, and that's what we do, right? We're day traders. So we're scalping, taking small losses, scalp, take small gains, scalp, take losses. But you gotta have some heat on some. You gotta have some heat on some, right? And the only way you're gonna get heat on some is to do your homework properly. Hey, I have catalyst, I have something with the technicals. When they coincide, now you have this perfect storm of juiciness, awesomeness, right? It'd be like if somebody took like a Cinnabon, heated it up, put maple syrup on it with like vanilla ice cream and some pepperonis, right? And you just have like all your favorite things all in once, and you kind of combine them into this awesome thing. And that's what that's what a really good catalyst is doing. So I digress, but going back to this, right? That's why this Twilio, I don't know if this is anything. This is not even this is not an upgrade. This is more of a hedge fund guy that nobody's ever heard of, right? Coming in and building a stake. But if it can get us out of this kind of consolidation, who are we to poo-poo on some good news? This I like, this I like. I got a couple of these for swing already, but this has got a couple of this on the break of the 200. It's not doing much though, but I got a couple of this on the break of the 200-day moon average for swing. You got the big push a couple days ago. I wouldn't say big push, big reversal, I should say. Big reversal one day, and then the next day push. So it's like a 1.5 day push. So we call that a mini push. Then we had an inside day yesterday. Inside days have been very, very powerful. Once you get the inside day, right, the next day, as you take out range, you can get some juiciness. My worry on this play, and this is something we'll have to be. My worry on this is, I got one worry on this. This coin looks like it's about to roll over a little bit. You're about 14 bucks from your 9 EMA. Big speed up yesterday too. It did relieve some tension here. Unloaded its balls a little bit over here, but this, is turning into like a little bit of a rubber band short. So if this obviously snaps, then probably take Mara and also Riot with it. Riot's got even a better level than I would say. Riot's got a better level than Mara. Like you've got 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests, 5 tests, 6 tests of 6 tests of juiciness, right? 6 tests of just some pure marination, a little marination station here. 1225. Dude, I'd put that right up on the 6 windows too. Like that's nice, man. That's real nice, right? I would put that on the 6 windows. Yeah, and you can do you can do Morrow too if you want. I think just the level's a little bit better on Riot. I noticed Morrow trades better, but the level's better on what's its face. So what are you gonna do? Affirm gapping up a little bit. Look, this is gonna be a tricky one. It needs to pull. It's gapping up to yesterday's high. If it pulls back, like if it snaps back a little bit, I'd look to actually try to bounce this thing. You know, you can use like a longer EMA, gap fill, price support, a Fibonacci, Levi's, 50, 61 Fibonacci works really good for these. Like you get a snap, it almost always pulls back to the 1-day fibs and then bounces. That's like, whenever you see a bounce where like you're looking at your chart and all your indicators and your price and you draw your lines and all this shit, and you're like, how did bounce there? Like, how did I catch it there? That's usually a Fibonacci that it pulled back to. I've done that like 1,000 times over the last 10 years. Where I'm like, how do you catch that? Like, how did it bounce there? Like, it's like in the middle of all this shit, right? But it's almost always at a Fibonacci. There's always a Fibonacci sequence. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind too. Hold on, I gotta turn my power. Bam. All right. So we'll wait for a little pullback on this. Boom, 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 boom. I like it though still. I like it a little bit still. All right, now let's talk about some day two plays. So add this on the list. Look, we had a really nice shred on this W here yesterday. And you get a gap up, pull back to 9, a nice shred. It closed very strong too. Prime time candidate for a red to green today. Trades, it does a lot of volume or enough volume. It trades very thin at the open though. Very thin at the open. So just be mindful, like it's not at the open, there's going to be a spread basically. All right. So yeah, spread. It's nice, real nice. All right. Etsy, we had a very nice shred on this yesterday on the ORB. I did the 75 calls on this. They had a sick run. Like one, I got 75 and ran up into the 180s too, right? Nothing crazy, just like a nice solid, right? Nice solid builder. I think this has got a day two on it. It may do an inside day. It's known to do those sometimes, but you have a flag pattern here, and this is also just a longer term kind of base breakout. This thing used to be $400, and you know who doesn't like to go online, buy themselves some nice arts and crafts, right? That's the thing. You guys got to get in touch with your feelings. Some nice arts and crafts. That's going to make you a better trader. It's going to make you better everything. There's some cool stuff on Etsy. I mean, you can get like those little succulent plants, like little cactuses, put them all around your desk, right? And that says something like, hey, I like a little green. I like a little piece, but I'm also cute and cuddly. You get a little succulent plant from Etsy, you're going places. How many of you guys even have something like that? I got one. I got one. Oh, yeah. So let's add this one. Man, I love Etsy. You guys should really be buying stuff and supporting the craft makers. It's a good spot. Now, beyond that, so add this one, day two play. I think that's probably a 6 windows too. We'll do that we'll do that. We got a farm. We got W. These are kind of day two-y plays. We got the old Riot over here. I think that's going to be a nice little day two play. There's a couple other bad boys here. Hold on. Let me bring this up. Right. Airbnb's got a flag right here. That's pretty nice. I don't know if that's the 6 windows, but I think that's probably the second 6 windows. Let's add that to the second one. I think that's a good one too. Hey, MU just came out with a little bit of a guide. Thank you, Jay Rice. MU came out with a little bit of guide. I have trouble trading this bad boy. Couple things. If we see this thing tank, then maybe we'll get some nastiness on NVIDIA. Maybe we'll get a little nastiness on NVIDIA. NVIDIA's had a couple of inside days on it now. If you look here, all right, let me get rid of this pre-market data for just a hot second here. All right, so we had this see that we had this was the earnings tank here. You get about 28 point move, give or take. And then we had, right, an inside day. So day inside the previous day. And then yesterday was a very, very tight inside day. That's going to be something here, right? So, does MU take this out of the inside days? It very well could, or is it good for NVIDIA? We don't necessarily know. But let's keep an eye on this. You have 2 inside days, 477 alert on this bad boy, right? 477 alert on this bad boy. If that takes it out, boom, we got ourselves some juice here. Nice. Let's see if that anything happens. AMD, not much of a reaction yet. All right. AMD, yeah, not much of a reaction yet. Kind of couple narrow range days. Keep this kind of 128. Keep the 128 zone, on your list. I haven't shorted anything in days. If you guys notice in the chat room, I haven't been shorting at all. Man, my life feels a lot more clean, crisp. I feel a lot more calm. I haven't had to, you don't have to self-medicate as much when you're not shorting a lot. It's very nice. Man, I would take I don't think I'd take a short in like a week, which is nice. If you guys have been shorting a lot or taking even any shorts, you've probably been not having so much success of recent, and then you're missing out on all these good fun trenders. That can happen sometimes when you're like not trading well, and then you get so used to like a non-trending market, then when the market trends, you're like, and you do that a little bit. I've done that so many times before where it's like you're so used to like getting chopped up that when you unchop, you actually chop yourself more because you're chopping the unchop, if that makes sense. So you were just getting chopped in the chop, but now you're chopping the unchop because you're used to the chop. And then, everything gets all discombobulated. But, watch this level. I don't know if I partake. Like I said, it has not been a good market to short unless this thing really sped up, like unless they put the algos on and just really took down these like pre-market lows, which is $4 away. I don't think I'd probably partake in any of it per se. Like I said, I mean, life's just a lot easier when you're not spending your days trading NVIDIA and Tesla. I didn't take any NVIDIA Tesla trades yesterday, and I feel very good. Now, let me go back into this a little bit because we got a couple other names that I just want to add in here that I think got a chance here. SMCI, look at this, test. When it tested this time, see how the 90 MA was a little bit loose? I think this time as it pushes through, you may have yourself a little bit more quesos in it. This 300 to 305 zone is going to be important. You may sit there and think, well, 300 is pretty far away. 305 is pretty far away. This stock it moves twice. So it's the same price as Tesla, right? It moves twice as much in percentage terms as Tesla does. So if you look here, and guys, for those of you guys that are on Thinkorswim or TC2000, you want to put what's called ATR percentage into your toolbars. ACR percentage into your toolbars so that you can see how much the stock actually moves, right? So like this is a 5.51% ATR. So you can compare stocks, right? 3.89. You can see, right? Total difference. Now, this also looks like a flag, but this is very heavily watched. So SMC has got more of a spread, but Tesla is Tesla. It's fugazis, it's stress. We'll take it because look, we'll take it because we're gluttons for punishment. If it breaks here, we will take it. No getting around that because it's just habit. But I warn you, this stock sucks to trade. It just does. It's been sucking for days of recent. Part of it's just because it's been in a range. Part of it is it's just sucked for like weeks sometimes. Weeks. NVIDIA has been sucking too. So, that happens. There's always new stocks that come into play. We'll take it because we're stupid, but we probably shouldn't. Now, this one I think is going to be more clean. It's less watched. You have 51 million share float. Man, that's a nice doohickey right there. Couple others I want you to just add. Put an alert on net. May need another day. But you got a big range break here. Guys, if it breaks this, this looks just like Roku, right? I got I got multiple alerts on this. One for price, one for PR. So like if you have Benzinga or something like that, you can set PR, you can set alerts for like stocks on your watch list for PRs. So I got PR alert and price alert on something like this. It's looking buenos. What kind of, do you got succulents, Matt? Or you got one of those like viney plants? I got viney stuff too, of course. Let me see what. Yeah, you can do this one. It's got enough liquidity, frankly. It does. You can do it. It ain't gonna be the end of the world. Why not, right? Good. All right, let's do the Lord's work. Guys, first 6 windows. You got Etsy, Riot, Amazon WFM. Second one, the IWM. We got old Tesla. I got Airbnb. We want to watch the video. We got Roku. I take out Roku, put PDD. Take out Roku, put PDD. Hey, we had a nice, if you guys remember, we had a very nice pre-market high break on PDD. Its last earnings. All right, you get confirm, and then I want to add Twilio somewhere. Yeah, let's get the old Twilio up in here. So you got 2 6 windows. You got 12 stocks you're watching. All right. And keep a secondary look on MU. Keep a secondary look on old MU. And we're going to be good. And guys, if anybody needs it, we got big discounts for chat room and all this stuff, options room, all that kind of fun stuff. I'll be in the Discord room trading the rest of the day. You know what we do, which is the do. I love you guys. Peace.